Saturday the 11th, Sunday the 12th, Monday the 13th, Tuesday the 14th, Wednesday the 15th, Thursday the 16th, and Friday the 17th. Each and every one of these 7 days in April 2020 lines up with those of April 1970. 3 astronauts from NASA had been tasked with collecting moon rock samples and bringing them back to Earth for examination. The vehicle that got them up into orbit was the largest rocket ever built. 5 stages, 3 of which containing their own engines, were what propelled the astronauts towards the moon. But then, less than 48 hours into the flight, an oxygen tank exploded. The astronauts had to abandon their lunar landing and return to Earth in a crippled command module with limited supplies of air, water, and battery power. It took 4 days, but the astronauts, with the help of their mission controllers in Houston, Texas, made it home alive. The story of Apollo 13 continues to captivate and inspire people, now 50 years later to the day. The 3 men that were on board the spacecraft, Jim Lovell, Fred Haise, and Jack Swigert, and the flight director of Mission Control, Gene Kranz, have become leading figures in space exploration. Their collective story was brought to the world in a new light when Hollywood director Ron Howard collaborated with actors Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, and Ed Harris to make the 1995 feature film Apollo 13. Hanks, Paxton, and Bacon played Lovell, Haise, and Swigert, and Harris played Kranz. The movie garnered 9 Oscar nominations and 2 wins at the 68th Academy Awards. It remains, in my estimation, Ron Howard's best work. Movies that tell stories which are predicated on complex problems that have to be solved are my preferred type. They focus on characters who are faced with adversity and have to rise above it. Of course, this is fundamentally the arc of most any good story. In movies like Apollo 13, however, there is no antagonist, at least not in the form of a character. The catastrophe of the oxygen tank exploding and the necessity for self-rescue thereto are the main plot devices that keep the story moving in the context of the film. The self-rescue measures in particular are what kept the real Apollo 13 astronauts alive. Among said measures were critical fundamental decision-making and self-control. The calm demeanor which could be heard in the astronauts' voices as they reported on the crisis, and the calm assertive control that Gene Kranz had over his team of engineers represent the key component to the success of the Apollo 13 mission: trust. To be successful, in any realm of the word, one must be courageous enough to put one's trust in 4 things: oneself, one's companions, one's immediate environment, and the cosmos. It is a challenge to trust even oneself, as one is invariably inadequate in some sense, and it is yet more challenging to put one's trust in the incomprehensible reality of the cosmos. Yet reasonable optimism and critical thinking are the pillars of trust. As we hunker down in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic and remember Apollo 13 following its 50th anniversary, perhaps we can adopt the bravado of an astronaut or flight director for NASA in order to approach the complex problem we have at hand in a new and tactful manner. Trust ourselves, our companions, our respective immediate environments, and the cosmos as we use critical thinking and reasonable optimism to see ourselves through.